It is time to get raw. It is time to get down. It is time for the Raw Down, the number one source for all things WWE, right here at the Turnbuckle Tavern. I am your host, Young Anthony of the Titantron. Joined with me, as always, are my co-hosts. First, the MVP, Marco, from the Chick Foley Show and Open Mic. Marco, how are you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you, young Anthony?
I'm all right. And joining us, as always, is our other co-host, our dumbass, our Raw Down champion. It's J-Bone of the Coming Down the Aisle.
Dumbass.
Are you boys ready for the grind?
Oh man,
I remembered.
you can't do that and not stand up and actually do
Are
the
you
grind.
boys ready for the
Maybe
grind?
sit down. Please sit down. Never do that again. Thank God if you're listening on the podcast. Look, we've got a jam-packed show for you here today. The draft is coming tomorrow, so we're going to give our predictions on that, plus some news outside of the ropes. I'm sure we're going to have some choice words in this first story coming in just a moment. Plus, a new championship has arrived in the WWE. And I'm sure that will be a divisive topic as well. It's already been a divisive topic in our group chat, so why not bring it over to the podcast? But first, let's get through all of the news that you can find outside of the ropes.
Outside the ropes.
Outside of the ropes. It's brought to you by the Turnbuckle Tavern, and it's time to talk about some fucking idiots, because I don't even know how you want to cover this story. It's literally, is it surprising? No. But finally, there has been an official lawsuit against the WWE filed by a former writer, Brittany Abrahams. Filed a lawsuit on Tuesday in federal court in New York, naming the WWE, Vince McMahon, and other executives as defendants, alleging that she was fired after she voiced objection to offensively racist and stereotypical jargon in scripts for different segments on SmackDown. And this lawsuit goes into a lot of the different segments that were pitched, involving multiple wrestlers on the WWE roster, including the likes of Bianca Belair, Apollo Crews, Reggie, and probably most shockingly, Mansoor. And I think we're chuckling just because of how insanely bad some of these stories were, to the point where it becomes, who in their right mind thought this was even acceptable to throw out as an idea? Thankfully, none of these made TV. Yes. I don't know if we want to talk about what exactly these pitches were.
Well,
what's good in the hood?
Well, first off, is this the same writer that got fired like a while back?
I think so. Yeah, there was like a female writer, and that's what I was trying
like
to remember.
A few years ago, right? Like maybe
and she was
before
like
the pandemic.
She like didn't know the product. That's what or something like that.
Yeah,
I
something
don't
like that.
think it was, but I'll check now.
Yeah, check that out, because that's kind of interesting. I mean, that could be a telltale sign of, oops, I didn't put my beauty light on. Here we go. Look at that beautiful face. Look at that title.
Hey, there
Good
he
Lord.
is. Now I can see him.
But yeah, good point, Marco. But yeah, Marco, I'll let you finish what you were saying.
I was basically gonna say, if it was the same lady, then it definitely took a while for them to, get this lawsuit going, because
it's not. I just checked.
It's not the same, so it's a different one.
Yeah.
Wow, so that might even be worse if because I think the first one that got fired pretty much said the same thing. The obviously race was involved with her firing and stuff like that. Granted, she didn't know the product, but from what we have known so far, a lot of the writers on WWE, right? I mean, when they first, got a lot more writers, they all didn't know the product. They're all writers from like soap operas and sitcoms and Hollywood writers and stuff like that. So none of those people knew the product at all either. So they're just writing technically for TV. So I don't think you necessarily need to know the product. So basically, what I'm saying is, I was kind of bullcrap that she got fired for not knowing the product, because I could probably say that a bunch of them don't know anything about the product.
100%.
That being said, was Hogan one of the writers for was he on the writers board with these stories?
Let me tell you something, dude. I got an idea. Just picture me in bed.
Oh my god. Yeah, there was some other thing I read about, like, obviously we will probably talk about the storylines, but there was like, I think one of the things was they wanted to write like certain wording to describe, the people that were obviously, Bianca Belair,
right,
Bobby Lashley, like pretty much all the black wrestlers. They wanted, like, when the storyline, they wanted to use certain. They didn't say what the type of wording they wanted.
No,
to
they
use
did actually.
Oh, I didn't read that. No.
Yeah, I heard it was don't make me take my earrings off and beat your ass.
Oh god.
That was the wording.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So all right. There we go. Yeah. I mean,
and she said that specifically, like in the lawsuit, according to the lawsuit, like several times. Like, I'm not saying, I don't know if it was that particular line, but it was lines similar to that.
Yeah.
3 different times. I'm not saying that. So good for her for stepping up.
Yeah.
Speaking out.
Yeah.
Margaret, I think we kind of had touched on this way back when you first were on the, coming down the aisle. But, like, it's just been this kind of like a tradition in wrestling where black wrestlers were held down for the longest time.
Yeah.
But, and that's why Kofi Mania was such a big deal,
Yep.
And it's a shame it took, what was that, 2017? Or no, 2018.
2018. Yeah,
2018 right? For that to really happen, So, it is what it is. But, it happened. They somewhat made up for it afterwards. But, I guess, well, maybe Kofi went to Squash City. But anyway,
that's the other. We don't. I don't think we actually talked about this, but the the meme going around, that statistic where every every black wrestler in the WWE that held the WWE Championship, the person that defeated them was Brock Lesnar. Have you seen this?
God. Oh my God!
He beat Big E, he beat Bobby Lashley, and he beat Kofi Kingston.
Oh my God!
And The Rock for his first time.
All right,
all four title losses were to Brock Lesnar. It's not funny, but it doesn't. I'm surprised you guys haven't seen that. First, it was just a statistic, and then it just started floating around as a meme. Like when I think it was, who was it? It was someone was holding up the new championship. It was basically like, there's a new championship, and then like next picture was Brock Lesnar waiting in the wings to take it away.
Oh my God!
I think it's just coincidence. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
So just back to the and so the official reason why she was fired. Well, Abraham's claimed the person who's filing this lawsuit complained, obviously about the discriminatory environment and all these storylines. But the official reason why she was fired, and I'm just learning about this now, based off the Sports Illustrated article that was posted, was because she brought home a commemorative chair from last year's WrestleMania.
How dare she?
Even though writers had previously been given permission to take the chairs, and other writers who took them were not terminated.
Yikes.
So, huh?
Hey, let me ask y'all something. See if y'all may know this answer. Is Connecticut a right to work state? Do we know that? The reason why I asked, because, like, I mean, you know, like Louisiana is a right to work state, meaning basically, you know, I could be fired for if I walk in there for blue hair, you know, and they just, you know, they make up some reason. But there's a lot of states like Connecticut that may, you know, like you have to go through processes to,
okay,
you have to have like documentation, like this person stole from the company or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. Which in that case you have, God, I'm such a lawyer right now. In that case, you would have some grounds, or I mean, obviously she has grounds already, but even more so if it's not. That was my question. I just know y'all, you know, kind of around there.
Dang. I know I definitely know Massachusetts is like that. You definitely have to have.
Yes, I'd be willing to bet Connecticut is too.
You have to have record of, like, you can't just like if someone's like late all the time and all this stuff, you can't just fire someone for being late. You have to have, like, you know, documentation in the sense where you had like a verbal communication, then you had a, you know, written or a warning, a verbal, a written, and then obviously then those have to be brought to HR. HR has to, you know, assess it and, you know, take the case in and see if it's even worth doing it, and then it comes back and says they say yes or no. It only really I've seen it a few times, like when the actual HR person comes in to your workplace and they start interviewing people. That's when you probably know the person's gonna get fired. They just need more, you know, more evidence to do so. But I would assume Connecticut is like that. I mean, I'm not sure if she's had multiple warnings or for taking stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, like with this, like with the allegations, I mean, like what I'm saying is, like, you know, it's one thing like right to work, like, you know, we can let you go for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now what she's allegedly, obviously, like that's federal law, so that doesn't really matter. But
yeah,
the chair situation could be something like where that could come into play. You know, even more so. So, but it depends on like how it's, you know, it could be, she could have like an at-will contract, you know, stipulation when she was hired. God, I mean, I am such a professional. I'm sure she should start a professional workers podcast.
She could have been stopping she could have been you know, stopping some advances from some people, and they took it the wrong way. That's another. Boy. that could be another reason why.
You're not wrong.
Here's what I found out. Here's what I know too. If someone wants to fire you, they'll figure out a way to do it.
Right.
Even if there's a law in place, they'll figure it out. They'll, you know, they just need that one or a couple of things to do it. That's really all they need. They'll figure out their way to do it. So
I ultimately, I think this is just gonna get settled out of court.
Oh yeah.
You know, and this is not gonna affect WWE in the slightest bit. So,
unless you're, we didn't bring this up, I don't think, that the company that's, I think it's a law firm in New York that filed a motion against the WWE and Endeavor deal that happened, on the count that it may be illegal. It was illegally sold. So, and that's always like obviously I think that's a thing with like when mergers happen anyway.
Right.
So that may halt the process as well. And then there's other things against Vince McMahon too, like other that popped up. But yeah, the most notable one of those storylines that were. Should we just talk about the storylines?
The storylines, I'll just briefly run through them.
There's one, man, that's rough.
Dude, is it the Mansoor one or is it the Hunter one?
Well, hold on. So
I don't know. The Mansoor one's pretty. That was
the
pretty
storylines that were addressed so far, and obviously, I'm sure there are many, many more. But the ones that are in the lawsuit, obviously, we mentioned the Bianca Belair lines that, you know, she kept rejecting. That was from former senior writer of WWE, Chris Dunn. So shout him out. Other stories include a storyline for a Muslim wrestler where Mansoor, who was born in Saudi Arabia, was keeping a secret from Aaliyah, who was also Muslim, Ryan, is it Ryan Callahan is the writer? I'm
I
pretty
believe
sure I
so.
get his
Yeah.
name right.
Yep.
He pitched that Mansoor's secret to Aaliyah should be that he was behind the September 11 attacks,
What the hell?
2001.
Oh.
Other two allegations were that Reginald, former manager of Carmella, now is Scripps in NXT, where he would be in drag
Well,
to
I didn't
tag
read.
team with Carmella,
Yep.
and another pitch
I didn't see that.
where another wrestler, they never specified if it was going to be Shane Thorne, but a lot of people have speculated Shane Thorne since he started that. For a while, he was like wrestling on Main Event in like this
Yeah.
crocodile hunter type getup, and I think the pitch would have been something along the lines of Shane Thorne or whatever wrestler would be hunting down Reggie, and Reggie would keep like getting out of it, and I don't know.
You-
Shane
I think at one point they were going to put him in a cage too.
something like that.
And
Yeah.
then he was in, yeah.
Wolf.
And by the way, the what I think is interesting is that I saw someone post this on Twitter. Around the time where I think this story was getting pitched of the Mansoor one, he was ending his kind of big story that he had with Ali, with Mustafa Ali, when they were tag team and then they broke up and they fought at the Saudi Arabia show. And I believe the story was like pitched right after that. And in January of 2022, that's when Ali officially requested his release.
Oh.
So,
okay.
you know, maybe a
That
tie in
That's
there.
making sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And there were other names that were included, like Apollo Crews was mentioned. There was nothing really said
Oh
specifically.
no, it was about
him.
it was about him being forced to do that
Oh, yes.
Nigerian accent and have that
Because he
whole
was of Nigerian roots.
descent. Yeah.
Um,
And yeah, so that was one of the things.
so those were the like official storylines pitched. All I'll say is, because I don't, you guys can get into it, but I mean, Ryan Callahan, who I believe is still working there as the SmackDown, something to do with SmackDown. I checked him on LinkedIn. And Chris Dunn, actually someone posted his LinkedIn on Twitter to out him.
Okay.
And Chris Dunn, I don't think works there anymore.
He's done.
He's been done for a little bit. So to Chris and Ryan, what the like?
I'll say, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like, how do you, in your right mind, pitch something as tasteless, offensive, especially in 2023, where could you just imagine what the backlash would have been if Mansoor got on an episode of SmackDown and told Aaliyah or whoever that he was just mentioning the words 9/11 on WWE programming in 2023?
I'm not going to excuse their thoughts at all, but I partially, I blame education system for this. To be honest with you, I mean, that's partially to blame. The majority is they're just dumb idiots.
I think it's just that they're dumb idiots.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can blame anything other than these are two complete idiots. How could you do something like this? That it's one thing, we always joke about, mid 2000s Vince McMahon, we have the drop and, all the things that have been posted. It's one thing for him to write those stories and put himself in that situation, which obviously still awful.
Yeah.
But for someone else to write a story for someone else and basically force them in in the case of Apollo Crews, like force them to play into that character. Like it's fucking awful. Like absolutely ridiculous.
It really is. Yeah. It's pretty, I mean, it's upsetting. It's not surprising, but it's upsetting because you think, okay, your things are getting turned a new leaf, and it's just like, dude, still dealing with the same shit. Like, come on, grow the fuck up.
It makes you think what else is going on back there. Like, I'm sure not everyone. I'm sure not every writer, is thinking, let's do this to this person and let's do this to that person. But like, it just makes you think, like, how do you come up with this idea in the first place? I understand when you're a writer, you have to, and I can think of from a creative standpoint, you try to exhaust every option and you try to see what works and what doesn't. But if you're really at the point where you're coming up with ideas like this as a creative mind who is presenting television,
yeah,
and you're appealing to, they always talk about how they're, they broadcast in however many hundreds of countries and however many languages, and WWE is for everyone. How could they even consider doing a story like Mansoor, who was 6 years old when the September 11th attacks happened?
That's such a great perspective.
Like, come on. It's so awful.
Good Lord.
Good you can say about this.
I didn't even think about it like that.
Dude,
so bad.
Insane. And they've always, I mean, it seems like, they try to, I mean, imagine all the stuff that's kind of gone by after that we haven't even like covertly that's gone under the radar. I mean, more recently with Walter and his actual name, where it originated from. That right
it's
there.
not Nazis. It's not Nazis.
Yeah, no, and then you look it up, and it's Nazis. And then speaking of that, even more recent, when they got kind of backlash from the no pun intended, from the Dominic Mysterio entrance video at WrestleMania, when they had like the clips of Auschwitz and stuff in there, like, and that was like no one would have caught that unless someone was actually watching the video and saying, "Hey, what the hell?"
Which again, insane that no one caught that.
Yeah, but someone did after the fact though. Like that was but no big. I mean,
just one other thing I'll say is, a lot of people always complain about how, the WWE having X amount of writers now instead of maybe just 2 or 3 like it was in the old days. Now there's writers and assistant writers. If anything, the fact that not only are we in the 2020s, but the fact that we have writers and assistant writers and people who are helping the assistant writer and all these different writers, no one could have seen like anything be wrong with this. Like what? It takes one person to shoot it down.
But see, that goes back to a larger issue that's always been at play for years and years and years, even from like wrestlers. People are scared to speak up back there.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah. They're just afraid to,
especially writers who are you could get a dime and a dozen.
Well, I think even in the lawsuit, something about how her name is Stacey Abraham. Yeah, Abrahams. She
Brittany Abrams
politely turned down one of Callahan's story ideas, and in that meeting, the rest of the meeting, Callahan was like, "Oh, I guess you're the head writer now." And whenever someone had a question in the meeting, he would always go, "Oh, ask Stacey. She's the head writer now." Like, that is such an awful working environment.
It's like a big pouty baby. Like,
exactly.
It's just like you hear stories like this, and it's like, who would want to work at the WWE after hearing something like this?
It's enough to get me to the boiling point. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much him in the meeting. Won't you ask her? She's a head writer. Like, you know what? Maybe she should be. Maybe like her questioning things is like a good thing. Maybe it was like a bunch of yes men or yes women or yes people or whatever you want to say it. Like just sitting around saying, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yep." Mm-hmm. That's how these things get by. because no one has
Apparently,
like
they went through like the Slack messages in the same Slack that both Vince and Stephanie were in. So they all obviously saw it. Maybe they're not reading every single message, but they were in the same group chat as them. Like, ugh.
I mean, Stephanie bounced, so that probably tells you something. She
All
left
these
the
stories
company.
happened like in the last year or so of Vince being completely in power. The last few months,
Yeah,
you know, it's
trying to get him out, dude. I don't think.
Teflon Vince.
Remember I said at the beginning of this, if a company or your work wants to get you out there, they got to find a way to do it. They're just trying to find different ways to get Vince McMahon out of. Yeah, I think we talked about this before. We don't know if the people in Endeavor are happy with having him still on board.
They're fine.
Well, I mean, like the main dude. What's his name?
No, he's
Ariel.
fine.
No, I don't.
When you have a video of Dana White punching his wife, and it gets swept under the rug. He's the master of manipulation when it comes to media. So,
oh man, yeah.
Well, I hope all of those writers never write for television ever again, even though one of them still is. So,
well,
thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Chris. Have fun.
Thanks for giving a horrible PR to the wrestling world. We appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks for giving us something to spend 27 minutes on the RAWDOWN talking about.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all the
Let's give them something to talk about.
They gave us something to talk about.
Oh man,
that's a good shirt idea. They gave us something. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see if any more stories come out of this lawsuit. I wonder if they will. Who knows? As far as other outside of the ropes news, I mean, I guess we can touch on this Chavo and Rey Mysterio.
Well, no. There's a bigger piece of news.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, take the reins.
Look in my eyes. What do you see?
How can I forget?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
was that really anything though? I mean,
it's weird.
Something.
It's a weird story. It's something.
It's something to talk about.
You think so? I didn't see it.
It's giving something to talk about.
See, I didn't think anything
How
of it.
about Punk?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything. Well, I
see him
the
right,
video.
everybody.
Yeah.
CM Punk was spotted backstage at WWE Raw until Vince kicked him out. Get out of my show.
Supposedly, I don't know if that actually happened. Do you believe that happened? He got escorted. He talked to Triple H. They said they shook hands.
They didn't have
and
a full conversation. Apparently, they shook hands and they made small talk.
Well,
and
I heard they talked for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what.
All right.
That's why I don't think he got kicked out. I think that was just like someone made that up. I mean, he probably got
doing everything good over there, Punk.
They probably wanted him escorted out by security because obviously who knows what kind of fucking shit that dude brings. He probably has beef with people still.
So was it confirmed that video that he was outside with Tamina was that legit?
Yeah,
legit.
All right.
He was out there with Tamina, and apparently he also talked to the Miz. Kind of wanted to squash some beef with the Miz. Maybe it was the fact that he called MJF a low rate Miz.
or he tweeted that go suck a blood covered. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
To CM Punk about the CM Punk wrote that to the Miz.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Punk figured
they've always had heat.
He's on an apology tour, dude.
Yeah, I figures I'm coming back to WWE anyways. Might as well just
yeah, you know what? Now that I'm thinking of it, it is kind of strange that he just randomly showed up to a WWE event in Chicago when they've been there plenty of times before in Chicago,
and it never happened.
And he's never shown up.
Well,
so I could see that.
Maybe I'm making this up, but wasn't the rumor, the speculation, wasn't he on like the same plane as some of the wrestlers?
Right.
Yeah.
So he flew to Chicago with them.
So what from the story I heard that he had the meeting with Chris Jericho and Tony Khan and FTR. It was in Tampa, and the meeting was done, and he flew back to Chicago. from Tampa to Chicago. That's the rumor I heard. But I also heard that I guess Cage Fury, one of those shma MMA promotions, that he commentates for was also working that. I don't know. So apparently that was also in Florida. Who knows? But
Cage Fury.
But he went inside and talked to
did
Triple H.
he did
So
go inside.
It wasn't like Triple H walked outside in the parking lot. It was like fucking kicking it with CM Punk. So I don't know. Yeah, it is kind of weird, dude.
20 minutes is a long time. I wonder what they were talking about. Yeah,
Man.
I'm not doing anything on June 17th. I'm ready to go.
I was just sitting to meet. I'm not gonna go. I'm not talking to those dudes ever again. That's it. TK
London? I'm going to London in August.
Yeah.
As well as just stop in July too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That is kind of strict. What do you think? Do you think?
Yeah, trips, Money in the Bank in London. That's cool and all. In July. Why don't we move it to June 17th at the United Center? I think that would be a good.
I think it was honestly. I think it was just another step of manipulation and power play kind of thing.
By CM Punk.
Yeah, by CM Punk
playing the cards.
Yep.
I don't see anything.
I think he's trying to get the attention of the Bucks, maybe. Bucks. Don't forget, Bucks and Kenny. They are EVPs of this company. They do handle some business aspects.
Their contracts are also coming up as well. Let's also keep that in mind. So
they're not executive vice presidents. They're extremely violent people. No, but I mean, I think it was to get some attention. I mean, he doesn't do anything by accident. CM Punk is a very smart man. He's a very calculated man. He was one of the very few wrestlers to be able to sue WWE, get his likeness taken down a video game and figures and all that stuff immediately. I mean, the only one other that comes in mind is Jesse Ventura back in the day with the Coliseum home video stuff. He knows what he's doing. I mean, let's take in consideration, the timeline in 2014. He leaves after Royal Rumble. They obviously have disputes back and forth for a little while. Seemingly, he might come back. He gets fired on his married day. He's pissed off now. WWE, the video game has Punk on there. They're like, He's like, They go through a very quick little legal dispute, gets taken down, and then he's on the Art of Wrestling podcast in November.
Yeah.
So
I thought
he knows what he's doing.
Which one was it?
2K13, I think.
15.
Was he wasn't on the cover of that, right?
It was on the cover.
Was that the
or maybe it was 2K15. It was one of the video games.
Because I remember the game that not that it matters, but I remember the game that came out right after he got released. He was in the showcase mode with him and Cena. I don't know. Whatever.
They probably removed. They probably did an update.
Yeah, they removed it. Yeah, I know. At some point he got removed. So
maybe.
So he's like, is he kind of like? Is he kind of similar in the sense where? Is he like the Warrior was in the 90s?
It probably is. He is a big Warrior mark. So
very similar stances on stuff. If you if you go back and you watch the Ultimate Warriors after he left the WWE. And even him fighting with the WWE about his likeness, removing all things of the Warrior, not being included in video, almost the same blueprint as as Ultimate Warrior, which is because I get pissed off when people obviously you hear all the podcasts about Warrior was the worst person to work with, he's difficult, blah blah, and it's just it seems like them too, they have that attitude where it's no, you're not gonna, you basically they're the guys that are saying you're not going to pull this shit on me. I'm not in awe of the WWE and Vince McMahon. I'm not just going to cater to everything that you do. And then for doing that, you're difficult to work with, which is, it seems like it's same thing with Jesse Ventura. Same thing. Those guys seem like they have this thing where it's just we're not just going to be blinded by the lights of WWE and what they can give me. Like, I'm still a person, and I can, I can fight back as much as anyone else. And then they get ridiculed for it. So
I love that we're comparing CM Punk to Jesse Ventura. Like, it makes sense, but it's just a
they
funny
do.
comparison.
I mean, they're all conspiracy people.
Maybe CM Punk will be the next Minnesota governor as well.
Black helicopters. The frogs did it.
I've got a good story to tell about 9/11 Mansoor.
Why?
Well, CM Punk's coming back to WWE, so we'll be excited about that.
CM Punk confirmed. Confirmed.
Oh man. All right. Well, I guess any thoughts on Chavo and Mysterio?
Ooh, Chavo.
My friend was playing that theme song in school the other day. I was laughing. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like,
I don't,
because it's so stupid.
Do you think he actually? Because J Bone actually said this in the group chat, like, and then you can read that Chavo said it was a work. I mean, I think he had to say that. I think he was serious, dude, and I think people got on him, and then he had to pull back. That's what I think.
Because why would it be a work? Like, what's the?
He's not with
work?
Yeah, he's not with WWE. There's no. What do you gain from that?
To prove a point, just get some attention. Get some buzz, baby. Get some buzz.
I don't know, man. I mean, you can do it a different way. Like, but when you put, why don't they? Why isn't he giving money to Eddie's daughters? Like, you don't do like personal shit like that and be like, oh no, it was a joke. I was just joking, you guys. It was a big rib on everybody. It's like, I don't know, man. I think he said it. I think someone spoke to him, or some people spoke to him.
The LWO,
the powers that be.
Santos
it was like,
Escobar.
Basically, like, you got to retract that shit. And then that was it. That was I was joking, you guys. I'm just being a heel. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird. It just seems weird, the retraction of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's really strange.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on the new LWO theme song?
Love
Them
it.
using
It's a banger. It's if there's one thing that collectively, I mean, the IWC usually doesn't agree on things, but one thing that everyone agreed on was that theme song was fucking. It's insane. It's a banger, dude.
I like it.
Everyone agrees. See the
What a
LWO
great
bringing everyone together, even the IWC.
Apparently, they're one of the top merch sellers as well with that the LWO shirts.
Yeah.
Let's get them some wins. Let's get them some wins.
Get some dubs. Let's get some dubs.
Let's get some
And
dubs.
none of them are on the. They're not on Backlash, are they?
Zelina Vega is.
Selena Vega's. That's right for the.
They're not good enough to wrestle on Backlash.
Speaking of Backlash, no.
Oh, well, I guess we'll finally get into let's take it inside the ring for this next segment.
Jeez, you got to give me some time.
Get
here.
ready.
Oh my god.
Collar and elbow.
Oh god. All right, it's time to talk about Backlash.
No, it's not. It's not time to talk about Backlash.
What do you mean it's not time to talk about Backlash?
Time to talk about the world title, baby.
No,
All
let's. Do you want to ease into the world title, or do you want to? You just want to go right for it for the world title?
I say
don't know.
we just go right for it.
Let's go right for it.
All right.
All right. So Monday, it was announced that Triple H was going to give an announcement that will, quote, rock the foundation of the WWE.
It did.
J-Bone's prediction was general managers, and it wasn't general managers.
I thought it was a pretty good prediction.
I thought it was too. It made sense. But once I heard rock the foundation, I was like, all right, well, it's got to be something big. So Triple H, he gets in the ring, he starts cutting his promo. Roman Reigns has been the champion for close to over 1,000 days. And then he goes on about how, Roman, he did anything that even I would do. He renegotiated his contract for less days. which any wrestler would do, obviously.
Oh yeah, of course.
And he really in this promo, he just buries the shit out of Roman Reigns.
That's what I want to get. That's what I want to get to.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
All right, so he goes on about Roman being a
that's
champion.
Fakakta.
Close to 1,000 days, and he doesn't fight as often, and
He's not a real champion.
And now it's time to make more opportunities for wrestlers in the WWE Universe. That is why when Roman Reigns is entered into the draft, which he will be drafted to either Raw or SmackDown, and he will stay there as the undisputed Universal Champion. And that means that the other show that doesn't draft Roman, they will have their own world champion as they bring in the World Heavyweight Championship, to which Triple H removes the blanket from the podium to reveal the new World Heavyweight Championship, which is basically a mix of the old big gold World Heavyweight Championship
and the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah.
mixed with the Intercontinental title, mixed with the size of the fucking Cruiserweight Championship, because this thing is tiny.
Hey, do y'all think it's a coincidence? I don't think it is. I introduced the new RAWDOWN title the same month, the new World Heavyweight title.
Man, someone's listening, man. Someone's definitely listening to this.
I mean,
there's too many belts. So get rid of all the belts. There's too many belts.
Not the 2-bone horse.
I love that.
Toot.
I love belts. Bring them all. Give us all the belts in the world.
Just to clarify, so Roman is going to stay on one brand as Undisputed Universal Champion. The other show is getting the World Heavyweight Championship, which will be decided in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions, which I guess now makes sense why they renamed the show to Night of Champions, which makes me think also, if they originally announced the show as King of the Ring and only last week, 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half ago was when they changed the name to Night of Champions, how long has this plan been in play of the World Heavyweight Championship? Because if they were going to do this all along at Night of Champion, what's going on here?
I mean, these are the rumors of the title have been going around before WrestleMania.
Well, the rumors of bringing in the title have fluctuated a million times.
Well, so, yeah, I mean, there's like the stories that Triple H isn't a big fan of the Universal title, which you can tell from that promo that he cut on Roman Reigns.
And he will stay there.
And personally, all right. You can put on your Becky Lynch glasses all you want. Universal title fucking sucks, dude.
It does.
It's not a real title. Bring the World Heavyweight Championship. That's more relevant to what the WWE is. The Universal Championship is it's a trash title. And Triple H fucking buried the shit out of Roman. Why is everyone offended by Triple H burying Roman Reigns? I don't get it.
I'm not. It makes sense.
You should be offended. He's a heel.
No, I know, but
exactly. Triple H is not playing a heel. He's being a neutral party.
He's being objective.
Or in that case, someone would say maybe a baby face, right? Calling it down the line. Right?
Running a show that is world champion is not defending his title all the time. Of course he's going to be mad. What the fuck?
Yeah. And I mean, the title itself, I don't hate it. I mean, a lot of I've seen the mixed reactions and it's like when they first announced the big logo WWE title. Everyone hated it.
I was actually there live for that when they did that. With the big logo title. With the Rock, when the Rock did it.
Oh, with the Rock.
Yeah, and everyone hated it, and they're like, "Oh, this sucks," blah blah blah. And then after what happened, everyone loved it.
Well,
for the most part, anyway. But I mean, I like it. I mean, it looks classy. I like the if you like I looked at all like the pictures and stuff like that, and like there's like lions on the side of it and fucking Oh no, it looks sick, dude. I like it.
It looks like a championship, which everyone was complaining. Oh, the big W logo.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a
It looked like
championship.
This looks like a champ. And by the
Yeah,
way,
You still
let me
have the
clarify.
W logo in there.
It has
Well,
to
of
have it
course
on
it
there
has
somewhere.
to because of
No,
the
it doesn't
branding and
have
everything.
to.
Well,
It has to.
from their it's the best of both worlds. All right, the WWE gets their big logo on it, which they want, and the fans get a nice looking title.
If it wasn't like a 3D type of globe, I think it wouldn't matter. I think if it was like a more flat to the surface and the WWE logos on it, I don't think people would like give a crap because
And by the
AEW
way,
has their logo right in the middle of their
yeah,
championship.
True.
every fucking wrestling company has their,
Has their
logo, right
logo in the middle of
it.
the yeah. I don't-
Let me
All
just
right.
clarify
Careful.
because I'm already seeing, like Tom in the group chat. Now they got 3 world titles. Now they got 3. Roman has the undisputed Universal Championship. The other show has the World Heavyweight Championship. It's 2 titles. Treat Raw and SmackDown as their own 2 separate entities. One show has a set of championships. The other show has a set of championships. That's the way that you run it.
I see your point, but okay, well then what do they do with these 2 titles? Do they merge them into one?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so what did you do? You call it the undisputed Universal title?
Or just call it the Universal title.
So then you kill 60 years of lineage, which they just posted all this week.
No. You're right. That's where they have to figure out what they're doing with the lineage. Does the World Heavyweight Championship...
That's why people see that as 2 championships.
Well, that's what they have to do, is the WWE World Heavyweight, which, by the way, they have called WWE Championship the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the past.
I know.
It's kept that lineage.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. What do you mean, no? Yes, of course
No,
they
I said
have.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
so it's
Sorry.
like, yeah.
When Brock, won the WWE, well, Cena did it first and then took the title from Brock. And they did that kept the lineage. When Jericho did it, that kept the lineage.
Yeah.
Whenever there's been an undisputed champion, it's always kept the lineage. It's going to be hard to do it with the Universal Championship because you have The Fiend and Goldberg and Brock, who have been former Universal champions. So that's why I think the Universal Championship is going to keep the Universal lineage. The World Heavyweight Championship.
You kill 60 years.
No. The Universal Championship's gonna keep the Fiend and the Goldberg. The World Heavyweight Championship is going to keep the 60-year lineage because you can't get rid of that.
See, I don't think
That's
see
terrible.
I don't think they're doing that. I think that title is a brand new title, and those 2 other titles. So there's the WWE Championship, because they never called the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The World Heavyweight was always.
They actually have.
Well, I mean, that was more geared towards like the big gold.
No,
the World Heavyweight
even with the big W,
It's always fluctuated, but it has been called the World Heavyweight Championship
it has
multiple
been, yeah.
times.
Really?
Yep.
Look-
More in recent years.
Yeah, they'll like it's a Vinceism. Like it'll be like, oh goddamn pal, we need to call this the World Heavyweight Champion, and then it was like, nah, let's just call it the WWE Championship. You just flip flops around. So
Yeah, I always thought it was called the WWE Championship before anything.
they flip flop it around.
I feel like when they want it to be like the top title, they'll call it the World Heavyweight Championship.
100%.
When they want it to be secondary to Universal, they'll call it the WWE Championship.
But see, I don't think you could do this with this new title, with what you're saying, because it's never. And it's a whole new belt to me,
Yeah, and that's how I think that's how they're treating it.
And that's the confusion that lies in with this.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think it just comes down to how they sell it. Like they really only showed the design of the championship, which everyone is already very positive about. Now it comes down to these next few weeks when we're building up to Night of Champions. How are they going to build up the lineage? And in the past, Triple H has done a great job in showcasing the lineage of the former champion of the former champions of the United States title and the Intercontinental title. And I know that this World Heavyweight Championship with its new design hasn't carried on that lineage. But I think if you're going to have your World Heavyweight Championship and your Universal Championship, you kind of have to put all that lineage on the World Heavyweight title, and it would make more sense because you can't get rid of that lineage. If anything, this is just a redesign of the WWE Championship without taking the WWE Championship off of Roman.
Here's my problem with the situation, okay? It's not the fact that they added another title. Well, yes, it is, but not. But it's the fact, and I'll go back to what I said a couple weeks ago, that they are just ready to dig their heels into this brand split, completely make things, 100% separate. We've seen this now the third time.
Mhm.
They're ready to do this, okay?
Yep.
And after a couple years, it doesn't pan out. They have another idea. What they are booking themselves in a major hole here. Why would you want to do this brand split so bad when everything's been running pretty smooth? Okay. Keep with what you got. Eventually, whenever you feel like the time is right, take the titles off of Roman, and then you can do the split.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to take the titles off like before the draft or like right now with Roman. I like the look of Roman coming out holding 2 titles. I think that's a great look. It's pretty smooth looking, But now you've kind of watered it down a little bit, in my opinion.
I don't think they've watered it down.
Yeah.
I think I agree with J-Bone on this. It's kind of
if that second belt doesn't matter, like you said, then why is he carrying 2 belts?
Wait, they have. What are you saying? That they've watered down Roman's titles?
Yeah. By introducing this new one. Because if you're going like this, if you're going, he's on that show because he's not going to be defending it that much. We need like a real champion that's going to be defending it week in and week out. That diminishes Roman Reigns a little bit.
Think about it also. People wanted Roman to just lose the WWE Championship and just hold the Universal
I think
title.
that was a terrible idea too.
Right. That diminished. So either way, it would have done something to diminish the WWE title.
No, because they're not introducing a new title.
You could have done it in a way. Wait to take the titles off of Roman, okay, and then you could have had. You could have done what I think perfect example what they did, and you could have waited a couple months. Whoever would win the titles, just like what Becky Lynch did when she won the 2 titles, she had to defend them twice that night.
Yep.
After Backlash, and she dropped one of the titles.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I don't think that was a great way they did it, and you could have done that with Cody, where he's got to defend all the titles until both the titles of SummerSlam.
Well, they dug themselves in a hole by calling it undisputed. If they had just calling it winner take all, then we wouldn't be in this issue. But the fact that it was undisputed,
they put themselves in a hole last year by combining the titles.
Yeah, that's where
they put themselves.
Well, no, the whole situation. They shouldn't even done Roman versus Brock for both titles.
Right.
But the fact that they did it and they called it for the undisputed championship, that's where the main issue lied. Because you could have done, Roman fights for the WWE title, Roman fights for the Universal title on the same night. But the fact that it's one championship now, it's basically just him holding 2 belts that signify one championship. So also to your original point about, this being the 3rd or 4th or 5th time that they've done the draft, as much as I hate to say it because it's become a cliche to say it now, this is also a new era of booking. This is, come on, this is Triple H booking.
I know.
I'm not saying, everything is going to be great because of Triple H booking, but this is also a completely new take on the draft. We've seen, and I said this last week, we've seen Triple H book from August until April completely with the same rosters and the same brand split, roughly, with some people moving around a little bit, but roughly the same rosters as it was left when Vince skedaddled. So, or it was July to April, whatever. So he has kept those rosters relatively the same for very close to a year. I think it's pretty fair to allow a new era of creative and Triple H as the head of it to finally say, all right, let's get the guys that we want on both SmackDown and Raw so that we can try something different.
Why do you have to do it that way? Why?
What other way would you do it?
Keep it the same way.
So that you can have the same match. How many other different matches could you do?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Stage?
No, people are going back and forth. The Usos are on Raw one.
But then you would just keep complaining, why have a brand split? Why have a brand split?
Exactly. Why have a brand split?
Because you have Raw and you have SmackDown and you have 100 guys on your roster.
Why do you need to do that? Why do you have to have that? There's competition now. This isn't 2005 anymore.
See, I don't think
This is 2023. You have competition. You're competing against, just like how they love to say, we're competing against the NFL and Major League Baseball, but they also have AEW they're competing against as well.
See, I don't think they're competing against AEW because they're not on the same night.
Well, they're competing, as far it's a light competition. It's not like WCW.
And another thing, I don't think they look at AEW as competition personally. Like
I disagree with that.
100%. I mean, you can, but I don't think they do.
You can argue, but you'd be wrong.
You can argue, but
argument.
It's cloak and dagger stuff, just like how they normally do.
From my thing is, they have to be on the same night.
Okay.
If the AEW can't pull the trigger and go on a Monday or go at 8 o'clock on a Friday, they're not competition. That's in my eyes anyway. If you're not going to show that you're really a competitor to WWE, you move fucking Rampage to 8 o'clock, and you move Dynamite to Monday night, and then you see who the real like company is. But that'll never happen because AEW's not competition.
But I think though. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why have this? Like, we've enjoyed the way they've been booking it, having people show up on both shows.
Right, but things get stale.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the other matches, not like the Usos and.
What are you talking about? Like,
it's
gonna get really stale. But it's gonna get really stale if you have people locked in.
From July to April, we've seen a lot of new stuff. Yes. But how far can they push it before we get to a point where everyone that you would expect to fight each other on Raw and everyone that you would expect to fight each other on SmackDown have already fought each other? So we are pretty much at that point.
So you're going to lock them in their individual shows. Can't get out. Don't touch each other unless we have a draft.
Yeah.
Then that's going to get real stale.
No. If you put them on new shows, if you put, let's say, and I'm just throwing out names. Bobby Lashley, throw him on SmackDown. Roman Reigns on SmackDown. That's a fresh match that you wouldn't be able to see from July to April because Bobby Lashley was on Raw. Roman Reigns was on SmackDown.
But they were bouncing back and forth. Everybody was bouncing back and forth.
Right, but that's what people have complaining. Like, we've been complaining about that too. The fact that people just bounce back.
Nobody's been complaining about that. Who's been complaining about that?
Been complaining about that since they brought back the draft in 2016. That the superstar shakeup or the whatever the fuck the wild card rule. Right. Three people on Raw and 3 people on SmackDown.
Okay. Yeah.
Could you name where the majority of the people are supposed to be at right now?
Of course.
Okay, where's Kevin Owens supposed to be?
He's supposed to be on Raw.
Where's Sami Zayn supposed to be?
He's supposed to be on SmackDown.
Okay, so
why
are they the tag team champions?
It's not a good. Well, first of all, the tag team champions represent both Raw and SmackDown, so technically
they have to be on both.
But it's also not good that you have someone on Raw and someone on SmackDown. That's what the draft is going to solve.
To me, Sami Zayn has been on Raw way more or about the same as he's been on SmackDown.
You're right, and it shouldn't be that way if he was drafted originally to SmackDown.
But nobody even remembers this. This is like 2 or 3 years ago. It's not like they don't even bring it up. They're like, well, there's SmackDown star Sami Zayn's here on Raw.
Oh, they do when they put the little nameplate that says
SmackDown.
The
nameplate. I'm so sorry. The nameplate.
I mean, you're saying they don't address it. They address it. Let's
the nameplate.
Yeah, they'll usually say like SmackDown Superstar or something like that.
God. You got to make it more of a big deal. You're going to have more stale matchups now. I hope you realize that.
No, you're not.
I don't think so.
How are you not going to have stale matchups?
Because if you put the right guys on the right shows that allow for fresh matchups,
So what's going to happen in a year from now?
then you do
Another
what
draft
the
or
WWE
shakeup.
draft is supposed to be, where you just change a few guys and you don't do a complete reset.
Or you could just let them go to Raw and SmackDown, and you don't book yourself in a corner.
Yeah, no. Here's what I think is what they're doing. They're kind of like appeasing the networks at this point. Like, I think
That's 100% what they're doing.
I think that's what like why they introduced the title is because probably fucking SmackDown was like, or Fox was like, hey, we don't like, I'll bring in AEW just to like appease everybody. AEW, their champion, they have a champion that comes out every week, and you get to see that person on TV. How come here on Fox we don't have that? We don't have a champion that comes.
Well,
out
Raw's
every week.
already apparently said that they like want Roman. Like they
No,
were
that's what
very
I mean.
adamant
That's
that they
what I'm
want
saying.
Roman.
So like if USA is like, we want Roman on our show, he's been on Fox for like a year. Now they have to go, now we have to create, we need a champ. If we're gonna completely like split it and Fox and USA aren't like playing
It's so dumb.
ball with
This is
each
so
other.
convoluted.
Yeah, it's like
It's
I
so
think
complicated.
what I think we're looking at is we're looking at it as wrestling storylines, but we should be looking at it as network people that want like TV ratings. And if you're gonna pull Roman and put him on Raw and he's the champion, what does that leave SmackDown with no champion? Fox will be like, "Fuck you, you better get us a champion."
Or
right now.
you don't do a brand split.
So hold on. So you have 5 hours of content a week. You're telling me that you would book Roman on Raw, since let's also take into consideration the Bloodline Roman, they get multiple segments across Raw, and then you would put Roman again on SmackDown?
No.
Okay, then how would you do it?
You would bounce it back and forth. Like, just book it however you need to be.
So
Like,
because you're
to
saying
appease the
brand-
networks.
Yeah, but if he's in a storyline with somebody on Raw, he's never going to show up on SmackDown.
No, because you're saying
That's not
That's what I'm
appeasing.
saying. You just haven't show up. You just continue the storyline.
But you're saying no brand split at all. So I'm just giving you an example. If let's say Seth Rollins is on Raw, or I'm sorry, let's say Seth Rollins, right? No brand split. Seth Rollins could go to Raw and he can go to SmackDown. That means technically, if you want to continue your stories, that means Seth would have to do stuff on Raw, and then Seth would basically have to do
Would
stuff
have
on
to
SmackDown.
if you have enough stories.
If you have enough stories, sure.
You can.
But you can
you
just
have
solve that
such a
problem
you have
by
such
just
a great
having
roster.
the draft so that you can present your guys
No,
on one show and the other show.
Because now you're going to limit your stories as well too. You can have a successful women's division if you did it this way. You can have a great tag division if you did it this way. But no, they're going to say, you go over there in your corner, you go in your corner, don't touch unless we tell you to.
Well, technically, you could do that with the draft too. It's just the booking has been bad of the women's division and the tag team division.
And that's
Yeah.
you know why? Because you have people that they just dominate the segments.
Right.
You have
It's
your
also
you have your
just bringing
Seth
the
Rollins,
unevenness
you have your
of-
Kevin Owens, your Roman Reigns, your Bloodline, blah 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, but you only have 3 hours of television, whereas now you can have 5 hours of television and you can spread that love all across your divisions.
When you're talking about the women's division, also the issue is, and we've talked about it for how long? Raw, Bianca, Becky, Bailey, this person, that, like, such a strong women's division. And then you look at SmackDown, Ronda, Liv.
Yeah, they have a shitty women's division.
Yeah, because you could take a Bailey and bring her to SmackDown.
Yeah, and keep her there.
Oh, you say she could challenge Rhea Ripley. You know,
And
I
then she's-
understand
and
where
then
you're
now
coming
she's
from.
Well, and then
It's
she's
just-
on SmackDown and she can't go back to Raw because she's feuding with Rhea. Because
it,
Rhea's not going to show
shouldn't
up
even
on-
matter. Like, why there's their lines? Like, it shouldn't even matter.
I get what you mean. It's just the fact that, and you look at even what AEW is doing, and they're basically doing the same thing. And we've also talked about this.
Yeah,
Like,
I hate it.
yeah, but you get to a point where you have as big of a roster. I don't even know if we're at the point where AEW has a bigger roster. Probably they'd have a bigger roster than WWE. You know, they have 3 hours of television. So they're showing, you know, Jade and Taya Valkyrie has become the Rampage story. And, you know, they have the Jericho and Adam Cole. They're on Dynamite. they're roughly doing a brand split too. That's how you make these stories work. Now, could you do it that you have Jade and Taya on Dynamite and you have Adam Cole and Jericho on Rampage? Sure. But
and they do that actually.
They don't do it enough.
But
Hold
I mean,
on. I don't want to get into an AEW debate, but they don't do it that, let's say, the Blackpool Combat Club advances their stories on Rampage. They don't. Not whatsoever. There's no big angles that happen on Rampage.
Because it comes on at 10 o'clock.
Sure, but it's still TV. You still have to make it watchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they still do. I mean, they do a decent job.
I'm sorry, no one watches Rampage.
It's a decent job. Okay, you say nobody watches Rampage. They pull in 500,000 people every week.
It's because they want another extra hour of wrestling.
That's pretty damn good for a program that comes on Friday night at 10 o'clock on TNT.
It's pretty good, but like, let's look at the matches that they put on Rampage. I
mean, obviously 500,000 people want to watch it.
Give me story on Rampage. Give me moments.
That you could definitely do more. You could, but I'm not saying it's trash.
It's not trash, but it's definitely not the effort. It's comparing it to Dynamite. It's not the same effort.
Yeah, but why would you put that effort in if it's at 10 o'clock? Now,
because it's on TV. If it was dark or if it was Elevation,
still doing good. It's still good doing good numbers.
But don't you want to do better?
You could definitely
do better. It could do better, but I mean that's not up to AEW either. That's also
like when Punk made his debut on the second episode of I know you can't get Punk or a moment like Punk on every Rampage, but you know those first 2 episodes of Rampage, those pulled in very good numbers. It's just making moments, making it interesting to watch, except for just doing, you know, mid-card wrestler versus mid-card wrestler and advancing a story for Dynamite. The only reason why you watch Rampage at this point is to see what matches are going to happen on Dynamite.
Yeah, it's pretty much because they just announce that they got rid of AEW Dark Elevation or some shit like that. Yeah,
because now they're doing, which is also
that's pretty much what Rampage is.
They're doing the ROH tapings. They're doing ROH tapings now before Dynamite, which will replace Elevation, which I think is ridiculous.
Which AEW, I mean, that's pretty much Rampage. They should just take AEW Dark, whatever matches they do on that, and just make it and put it on Rampage.
Or just take Rampage and turn it into ROH, because it's just the exact same thing. I'm sure more people would want to watch ROH than Rampage.
Or get that 9 o'clock spot and make it a 2-hour show. Add AEW Dark Elevation to Rampage and make it a 2-hour show, 9 to 11. Something like that.
Raw was running 9 to 11 for a long time before they turned to 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think that they also need to put it on a different time slot, but that's neither here nor there. But that's AEW. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're comparing apples and oranges. You're comparing a promotion that has 2 programs, basically, okay? Right now, for the most part. One starts at a decent time, middle of the week, good time to watch it. One doesn't, okay? WWE has 2 programs that start at a decent time, and prime time, right? So you can move pieces how you see need fit. Just mix it up. Get interest in both. I mean, to me, if I'm a partner, if I'm a program partner, a channel, I'm like, oh, okay, I can have this person, and this person. Versus, oh man, I got these people. This is all we got. Like I can't get a Roman Reigns to come over here.
That's why you're right. That's why the draft is happening. I'm telling you, it's the networks, dude.
But it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that also just ties back into the whole world heavyweight title situation of putting the title on whatever show Roman is not on. Because although we know that it's not true, WWE really treats Raw and SmackDown like they're their completely own, and I'm using this term very loosely. It's like their own companies. Yeah. You have your set roster and your set titles on Raw, your set roster and your set titles on SmackDown.
They used to.
Right. They used to, and they started merging. I just feel like that confuses
and
people.
did the product not get better? No, it's going to confuse people now.
How is it going to confuse? So you're saying it's going to confuse people more by having separate
Clearly.
rosters?
No.
Or
We're just having like you're gonna have these champions. You're gonna have Roman as your WWE Undisputed Champion, and then you have whoever as the I can't beat Roman champion.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think that's confusing at all. Roman's one champion. You have another world. That is textbook WWE how it's been for years.
Yeah, Raw has.
If you're confused on that, just stop watching.
It's awful.
How's it? That's the way it's been for years.
Yeah,
J-Bo.
it's been like that forever.
And nobody's liked it for years.
Who hasn't liked it?
If you talk to people that have watched it in the 90s into the 2000s, the way you book it is you have one champion. Let me ask you something real quick. Does the NFL have 2 Super Bowl champions?
No, but the NFL doesn't have 2 split rosters. It's they don't have 2 split teams. Well,
they
have
have
the
the
AFC and the NFC championships.
So
they do have 2
we're
separate
the AFC champion. Do you think?
And then they have a winner take all at the end of the year. So go fuck yourself.
Do you think the Philadelphia Eagles are like, yes, we're the NFC champions?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the people pride this.
The New York Knicks hold on to their banners when they just make the playoffs. Of course, they're going to hold on to being NFC champions.
It's just you're just giving. It just doesn't make sense to me.
So I'll ask you this question. So do you like the fact that that Roman Reigns is not on TV at all as the champion?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I'm tired of it.
Like,
there's so much more we could be doing.
If it was even coming from watching like the Attitude Era and the Monday Night Wars, when you had your champion on every week, like you seen Stone Cold every Monday night, you're saying that was worse or not as good as Roman Reigns now not showing up on TV?
No, you're elevating Roman even more. You're making him be this mythical figure. You're putting him on the pedestal of your Hogans, your Warriors, your Machos, and
but at the expense of the rest of your roster.
No, because you can then elevate your roster by featuring them. Because when Roman's on TV, he's taking up 2-3 segments.
Yeah, but they got nothing to fight for except for the mid-card titles.
that's the thing. You're not giving if Roman's on TV to have an angle with anybody, what are they doing? Why are we showcasing these people to just
build better stories?
Stories about what though?
But what are they fighting for?
Yeah, a championship has.
I mean, look at this Cody Brock situation. That's a story. It's a good story.
Right, but not everyone can be Cody and Brock just fighting because they want to fight each other.
Well, not if you bury them with having Roman Reigns in 4 segments.
Look at it this way. All the contenders that have been thrown around in this conversation for the World Heavyweight title, you have Seth, you have Finn, you have Theory, you have Drew. These are all guys who have been featured on WWE and have all been fighting over nothing. Yes, Theory and Seth, they've been fighting for the United States title because they haven't got the opportunity to fight for the world title. So now you have an opportunity for these guys to reach the main event and fight in the main event slot because you have a world championship for them to fight for. I understand that you've been enhancing the reputation of the United States championship over the last few months. That's great, but that's because you've had main event guys fighting. But
you also have a women's division, you have a tag division, you have other things that you can elevate in the meantime.
No. I'm talking about the men right now. Like I'm talking about how right now you're treating on Raw your world championship is the United States title, and it just can't happen. You just can't do it that way. Yeah. It's been working, yes, because you're in a situation where you kind of have to push the U.S. title, but you can't do that for another year, another 2 years.
I think the United States title and the Intercontinental title have been the more relevant than it's been in years.
And that's because there's no main champion on TV.
Event guys fighting.
Okay, and why is that so bad?
I would say now,
you want to bury the titles?
No.
No, you want to keep them mid-card.
There's nothing wrong with the U.S. title and the IC title getting prestige raised. If anything, that has been one of the best things that Triple H has done, is raising the prestige of those titles. However, you don't need all of your main eventers to do that. You don't need Seth, Bobby, and Theory all in the United States title picture to raise the prestige of the U.S. title. Those guys like Chad Gable and Ali and all of your guys that are, kind of fluctuating in the mid card, not doing anything. Those should be going for the U.S. title. And because the prestige has been risen, now you can have those guys fight for it. You look at a guy like Seth Rollins, you got a guy like Seth Rollins. And he is someone that, although he has been one of the most over wrestlers in the last year or so, I would say he's one of the most underutilized wrestlers in the year because he has not fought for the world championship. And he's one of the most, he gets the biggest crowd reactions. He's standing in the ring and people are just singing his song. And here he is fighting in nothing feuds. Like, yes, Logan Paul, Theory, Bobby Lashley, these are all big names, but he's not fighting for a world title. He's a world title caliber wrestler. And he hasn't fought for the world championship since last year's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because you're building to it.
But how long could you build to it?
You're able to save some of those big time marquee matches, but now you're just going to blow through them.
All right, so you eventually get.
Let me bring up a point real quick. So AEW, all right, let's look at that real quick. Their world champion doesn't fight every week. He just comes out there and goes, "Pores, I'm better than you," and you know it. He doesn't do anything,
but you see him every week.
You see him every week.
You see him, okay. But he's not wrestling. You still have a storyline in place, and there's still a storyline in place, even though Roman is not there. It's still Cody waiting in the wings.
We don't know that though. They're not even making.
You do though.
We know as wrestling fans, the casuals
even on TV, they ended. They said, well, they ended not ended it, but they put it on pause, literally the feud because of Brock. So. You would assume if you sit there and watch attentively that okay, Cody's gonna face Brock, and then next is Roman, maybe, right?
I don't think that's happening. See, that's
I mean, maybe not, but still, that's a story. That's kayfabe.
It's not the story. It's the way they're speaking about it now on Raw is like they don't even mention Roman anymore, and with Cody, like that's not even like it's not even that story's totally done.
Cody and Brock
that's like
right now.
completely cut off. And now
I disagree, but whatever.
To your point about AEW, since you wanted to bring in the AEW comparison, yes, MJF doesn't wrestle every week. However,
he shows
you're
up.
also saved by the fact that you have the All Atlantic Championship, which is only being fought
international title.
Oh, the international title. Sorry, still working in my mind. The international title, which is only being defended against mid-carders. Tell me the last time that a true main eventer has fought for the international championship. Why? Orange Cassidy is now up to 20 defenses of the international championship. You guys just had a debate the other day of the international championship versus the United States championship.
You guys.
You did not need a single main eventer to up the prestige of that championship. They could, and you're still having right now. You have a main event situation for the world title with the supposed 4 pillars of the AEW roster. If this was WWE booking, you would have Sammy Guevara, you have Jungle Boy, all fighting for the international title to raise the prestige of that. But here we are separating it. You could do it. It's just that you need,
or you could have you could have the world champion, float, over. It's stupid. This is just dumb. It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense to have one world title.
It
because
100%
then it only
does.
allows for one person at a time to fight for it.
So UFC, they have multiple champions, multiple weight classes, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, are they who's your number one guy then? If you have 2 champions,
what for the 2 titles? So Roman's Universal.
You have Roman, and then you have
Seth.
No, you have the whoever the world champion is. So you're thinking it's gonna be Seth?
Sure.
Probably.
Okay. All right. So you got Roman and Seth. Who's your top guy?
Well, if we're looking at it from a SmackDown perspective, Roman is the
No,
top
no,
guy.
I'm looking at the.
Well, you can't because Raw and SmackDown are two separate entities. That's what we've established.
It's stupid.
It's not stupid. That's how it's always been. SmackDown is one show.
It's
Raw
always
is the
been in
other
your
show.
lifetime. That's not how it's always been.
Well, get with the times, bud, because SmackDown's one show, Raw's the other show. Steph will be on top of one show. Roman will
you
be
say
on top
it's
of the
always
other
been like
show.
that. But it hasn't been. You look when they really did the brand split, which was what 2002, 2003 was it the first time? I can't remember.
2002, yeah.
Okay, 2002. That's when they did the draft. Really, the brand split lasted until probably 2008. Yes, it was there, but it got very convoluted. So that's 6 years. Then they went into this super show crap until 2016.
Mhm.
Okay. Did that for a couple years. Started getting messy again. And some of that was due to the pandemic. I'll give them that. They only have to use certain talents. But you say this is how it's always been. You look at this, it's really only been about 10 years of WWE history where you have a true brand split.
By the way, when you're talking about who's the top guy, Roman versus Seth, that's based on the fans' perception. When you're looking at it from a company perception, there's not a top. That's like saying, oh, you have your Raw champion is Rhea. Your Raw champion is Bianca. Your SmackDown champion is
and
Rhea.
I would
Who's your
love
top woman.
I would love to get rid of that too.
I would too, but that's
okay.
the same thing, and you can't. Well, but
jeez, that's what I'm saying. Like you could get rid of that too. Have one tag team, one women's champion. You build more drama. You have more contenders.
Well, if Raw was
if
Raw was the only show, it would be a lot easier. The fact that there's two shows, you need to do it that way. And from the company perspective,
you don't.
From the company perspective, you have a world champion on each show. For the men and the women, those are the top stars on those shows. It's not one top star in the entire company. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's perceived. You can close your eyes all you want.
Man, I would like to be like, in football and be like, hey, I want a Super Bowl trophy too if they got one, because I made second place.
It would just be the bowl trophy. It wouldn't be the Super Bowl trophy.
The Super Trophy. The Universal Bowl trophy.
Yeah, it'd be a different title.
All right, so do we want to do any predictions on the draft, guys?
Sure. Let's do
where
it.
do we think we're going? So are there any major names that are standing out to you as guys that you think are going to go to Raw or go to SmackDown? Any NXT call-ups?
As far as
apparently
to me, there's I don't really know the rosters because, like I said, you
don't know the product. That's the issue. And
you're because they don't make it a big deal, and they shouldn't make it a big deal.
I know the rosters.
What are they?
Give me any name. I'll give you what their roster is.
What is Santos Escobar's
SmackDown?
Okay. What is I don't know. Fufu Schmosh.
Orange Pickles is on NXT.
I don't know. I mean, everybody bounces back and forth, and I'm good with it. So, but anyways,
well, that's good for you.
But it doesn't.
To reality, yeah.
It doesn't. Like, to me, it's like it's gonna be like, oh, okay, so and so's on Raw, awesome. Like,
good for you, not good for
gold jacket, green jacket. Who gives a shit?
I'll say this: definitely not Carmelo Hayes, as everyone thought was going to be showing up on the main event scene.
Or Braun Breaker.
Or Braun Breaker.
What happened?
Well, they're in a feud going into the next NXT show, which Marco, I'll actually send it to you on the NXT talk because I know the bozo below me doesn't know anything about the NXT world.
That's true. I don't.
As far as NXT call-ups, I would say from Spring Breaking the other day, Pretty Deadly is probably the
Pretty Deadly Grayson.
Of the way that
I think Grayson Waller, dude. I think Grayson Waller.
I like Grayson Waller too.
I think he might be going up.
I like was it the Creed brothers? I like them too.
Yeah, you like the Creed brothers? Give me 3 Creed brothers matches.
Creed Brothers versus Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Creed Brothers versus Grizzled Young Veterans. And Creed Brothers versus Imperium from back in 2019.
2019.
20, I mean, no, not 2019, 20.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I think those are the only really like main call-ups.
There was some speculation about Ilya Dragunov potentially being called
yeah,
up.
that's another.
Tyler Bate potentially being called up as well.
Isn't he feuding with Dijak?
Who gives a fuck? Who cares about Dijak?
I mean, they're in a feud right
We're
now, so
over
he's
this.
probably
Wow.
in this pay-per-view that's coming up is in June, is well way after the draft. So I don't think you'll see him move up either at all. I think it's just going to be like you said, Pretty Deadly, probably Grayson Waller, and who's the other person we said?
What about Indy Hartwell?
She's
She's the champion right now. Jesus.
Drop that title.
Yeah, just drop it.
She might after
Hey,
that freaking
it would
gruesome
make-
injury
that would
she
be-
had.
That would be right up WWE's booking. I'll just drop the title. It'd be okay.
I mean, she pretty much like snapped her ankle in half. She did like a freaking Sid. Well, she didn't do it. She got landed on top of it. Her freaking leg just freaking folded. So she might be out.
Speaking of which, Tiffany Stratton, that's someone that could be
Oh
called
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I could see. Yeah,
I
I could,
like her too.
possibility. What's his name? Reggie. He might show up.
I only saw
joke.
one Tiffany Stratton match, and it was pretty good. It was with Wendy Chu. I like that. It's a good match. Decent.
I want to make a podcast of just J-Bone, just not reviewing NXT, but just talking about NXT from his vague memory of it.
Yeah, no, right?
Like little pieces that I remember that Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, I
and
remember
Wendy
that,
Chu
I
match.
only watch it because shout out to Aaron from Lumberjillville. He brought it to the coming down the aisle.
I like the Creed brothers.
He's like,
Hey, I
like,
like them. There's some big old horses.
Grayson Waller's my favorite.
He's like, isn't that Velveteen Dream still on there? He's on there, right? I like his matches.
Where's Lars Sullivan?
Oh God,
What happened to Finn Balor?
Lars, remember that? Oh boy.
Where's EC3?
Y'all remember Jackson Riker? I liked him
Oh
when
my
he was
God.
down
The
in NXT.
What were they, the Forgotten Sons or whatever they were called?
Oh, they were forgotten already.
Dude, Lars. Oh my God. I remember early in the Chick Foley days, we were he was very much a topic of discussion, mainly jokes and stuff with Lars involved.
Lars got bars.
He holds bars, cylindrical ones.
Well, I guess that's a good way to just move on from the draft.
Moving on.
Moving on.
I think
Good
that
chat.
needs to be a shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on. Good talk about the draft and the world title.
Oh,
Even though J-Bone has no idea what he's talking about.
Even though you don't know what you're talking about.
But maybe we will know what we're talking about when we get to our favorite show of the year. This has become our WrestleMania. Backlash.
Mr. Backlash.
We thought Cody
But I'm
Rhodes.
not good enough to call backlash.
We thought Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar was going to be the top match on this card. Well, if you look at the new promotional poster,
oh yeah, no.
I didn't see that.
it's
It's
the new top match.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny
Bunny.
versus Damian Priest and
I'm
a San
actually-
Juan street fight.
I'm pretty hyped for it. Not gonna lie.
yeah.
This match has definitely got my interest
Yep.
simply because it's the first one-on-one of Bad Bunny. And it's going to be a street fight.
Hey, and he laid his shit in the other night. Like, good for him.
He did.
Oh yeah, he's he's not afraid.
I'm
so
going
get
to
in
Puerto
there.
Rico and I'm going to whip your ass.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, Bad Bunny.
So it should be a good match. And obviously there's I like this better than the original. I know people wanted to see the tag team match with Ray and Dom. I like this
I
one
like this
because it's
better.
different, but also, you have the history between the two.
Yep.
So, and also it gives more of an interest to Bad Bunny wrestling, because if it's another tag team match, you really think, all right, well, we've already
Watered
seen
down.
this.
Yawn.
like
Moving on.
It's like it's reminiscent of Diesel and Shawn, dude.
Yeah.
Best
good
friends,
point.
better enemies, dude. I mean,
That's
that's
a good
what
point.
they're going for.
I like it.
Nah, I mean, I don't hate it. You'll probably see the LWO. It'll be like, Judgment Day will get involved because it's a street fight. LWO will jump in.
Yeah.
You'll get the Dom appearance. You get the Ray appearance. The shenanigans will fly.
Do we think this
Just
is
do.
main eventing?
I think it's main
Probably,
eventing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It's in
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. These are both Puerto Ricans. 100%.
Yeah, it's gonna be probably. Man, I feel like Cody and Brock is gonna open.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
Cody and Brock will open.
Which honestly, that makes me think. I'll keep my predictions to myself. Nevertheless, yeah, I could see them doing this, and
Brock likes to get his shit in. And
I know
You
people
know.
at the tavern have been critical of Damian Priest, multiple dreadhead, as a few have called him.
wait, what?
Yeah, Chad always, poo-poos on Damian Priest. I think J-Bone also
All right, listen.
Yeah, he's
here.
all right. He's
I
all right.
mean,
been critical on old Damian.
I'm taking Damian Priest over fucking tattoo face,
Oh, 100%.
Trench.
Good
whatever his
Lord.
name
Where
is.
has Trench
Freaking
been?
second-rate Brock Lesnar. Come on.
Parker Boudreaux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parker Boudreaux can
Yeah, come on.
fucking,
No, Damian Priest is
Go to
he's
hell.
grown. I think he's gotten a lot better.
He's good.
I like Damian.
He's
a good
starting to look like
kid.
a main eventer. He's a
He's a good hand.
Good hand. Good worker. Solid
step.
worker.
Well, I would say that, but
I mean, I've never.
You don't like the clap?
no, I fucking hate that. That is the one thing that I hate.
clap. You know what's funny? I was actually watching WCW Uncensored
Yeah, you
98.
are. Now we're talking.
Sting versus Scott Hall, WCW World Championship match. Guess what Sting did?
The clap.
Yeah,
He did
it
the
to
clap.
Scott Hall. Scott Hall was like, all like dizzy. Then he goes clap behind him. I was like, oh, the icon Sting does a fucking clap. People need to shut up.
It's stupid. I love Sting, but first of all, he never broke that out that much. I don't think. But
I know.
Damien does it like every other match, so
He does.
yeah, we don't need that.
Does he?
But,
He doesn't really do it anymore. Ever since he's joined Judgment Day.
What about the other marquee match?
Hey, good for Paul. Yeah, Paul Ellering over here. Punishment Martinez.
Paul's got the lore. Look at him.
What about
He's got
the
past
marquee
name.
match that we found out about on SmackDown this past Friday?
Well, real quick before we get into it, I just want to say one more point about this Damian Priest match. I do kind of like, and maybe it's not intentional, but Sami Zayn gets a big moment in Montreal. Now Damian Priest and Bad Bunny get probably a main event spot in Puerto Rico.
Yep, I like it.
And I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't look at it as like this show is kind of like a. I mean, it's happening after the draft is all said and done, so it's not like a real storyline. I mean, it is storylines in it, but it's like I see it as more of like a fun, like kind of like Passover type show.
Wow, you're talking about this Passover?
Not Passover like that. I like a.
Like, that's such a weird word to use.
like a passing what do you call it? Like a
Passover.
Yeah, like a passing time.
We're gonna have lamb.
But yeah, I mean, I mean, I'm basically saying like it's not like a big deal if Bad Bunny main events the fucking show. I mean, it's in Puerto Rico.
Don't open your door if there's blood on it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Oh man. All right.
Anyways, but yeah, yeah, but I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for Backlash. I think it's got me chippy about it. Like I said, Bad Bunny did his thing this week, and he's good, man. He's really good.
And he gets a lot of interest. Like, I've got friends at school who have just been talking about wrestling because they're like, "Oh, have you seen Bad Bunny, going against Damian Priest?" I'm like, "Holy shit." My friend who has not watched wrestling in years saying the name Damian Priest, this is pretty strange.
I hope they repackage Damian Priest into Rambunctious Rabbit.
Oh my god. Rambunctious rabbit.
Rambunctious rabbit. Anyways,
he could come out in the Adam Rose Rabbit Bunny
There
costume.
you
the
go.
bunny. Oh God, it's Justin Gabriel.
Good rabbit versus bad
Good
bunny.
rabbit.
Which,
Bad
by the
Bunny.
way, Justin Gabriel followed me the other day.
Really?
Yeah,
Good for
it's
you.
like, oh, look at PJ Black. All right.
Quickly get into some of these other matches. So Rhea Ripley and Zelina Vega confirmed, which makes sense why they're doing it.
It's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna keep
fine.
with consistency in some of our arguments, Zelina Vega hasn't wrestled a match since she's been Queen
Yeah.
Zelina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're
Just
gonna
saying.
elevate her a little bit. She's gonna have a title match.
Yeah,
She-
but
Yeah, but
not
let's just
earning it.
bury her down the middle of the second hour. Nobody when nobody's watching.
whatever. Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, Bronson Reed for the U.S. title. This will be a good one. I don't
I
think
like
the
it.
title is being taken off of Theory here.
No.
Hey, keep your predictions to
I
yourself.
don't know,
man.
man. Oh. I think Bronson's headed for a big push, dude.
Yeah, but I think there's a time and a place that you do it, and right here it's I don't know. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the Raw Women's title. Again, different, and I do like this a lot.
So why do you like this versus Rhea?
Well, I mean, Io Sky has been wrestling,
Yeah,
and she
true.
also won a number one contenders match.
all right,
so-
fair enough.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Oh, man, that was aggressive.
I
And-
already did.
We'll do it again. And finally, and this is the match we're all waiting for.
The main event. My main
Omos versus Seth freaking
This-
Rollins.
It's fucking dumb.
event. I love it.
It's stupid.
I don't hate it. I just don't get it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I told you it's the show is not a serious show. It's something to hold you over until after the
it's
draft.
a Passover show.
Yeah,
It's Passover.
But yeah, I mean,
But
Yeah,
I'm not good enough to call Passover.
yeah. And now WWE's Passover.
And now, Castro
Backlash.
GTX presents Passover.
Passover Backlash.
It is now time for the Passover Rumble match.
Each participant will come down to the ring carrying a matzo ball.
Oh my god. Oh jeez. Oh, boy.
This will continue until all disciples have been thrown over the top.
All disciples have been eliminated.
Oh man, that's great.
And we're canceled.
And we're canceled.
But yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. It's Seth Rollins. I make it fun. I mean, I like this little promo that he cut.
I'll say this: Omos needs to win this.
He's not winning.
He's got to win this.
No.
He needs to win this, but I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I don't think it hurts Seth if he.
No, it does. I think it does. Especially with this new title that's announced. I don't think you need Seth Rollins losing to Omos going into a possible title.
Omos
run.
a wrestler.
Yeah, I don't.
Almost a wrestler.
And I mean, I think it's like unanimous on all fronts on the IWC. I mean, I'm not sure how they're gonna go about this, but it seems like it's gonna be Seth and Finn. I'm assuming for that title,
God.
and maybe
Stupid.
Austin Theory thrown in there.
Hey, let's go to SummerSlam 2017.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna run back.
Yawn.
I think.
Don't hurt your shoulder, Finn.
I mean, who else would be? I mean,
I think-
Austin Theory, you could throw in there, I guess.
I think Anthony's frozen.
He might be.
Yeah, he's
I
frozen.
think it
Good.
throws him into submission.
Good.
Yeah.
We could.
He's just stunned by my
yeah.
booking.
Yeah, well, a lot of people. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
We got to run out here.
Yeah, if you're watching, you're seeing us all mess up right now on the screen because Anthony decided to disappear on us.
Yeah. We'll see if he comes back. I don't know.
I watched the match, and a matter of fact, I fell asleep in the middle of it.
No lost match. But anyways, what else do we have to talk about? Anything else?
I think that was it. I don't think. Yeah. We do the who won the week and all that, but
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, I think it's probably pretty clear, but
Who won the week?
before you do that, let me just switch over to this real quick.
there we go.
We'll do that. You'll be young Anthony. I'll be MVP. Marco.
Awesome.
Yeah. So who won the week?
Raw. We'll probably go Raw.
Well, landslide. Man, that Chicago crowd, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh, so good.
They love some pro wrestling. It's a bucket list of mine to go to a wrestling show in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That and Philly. I want to go to a Philly show too.
I think we might have to finish up the show all by ourselves. Let's see.
Are we getting a message?
My internet is down. Finish the show without me. IDK, what's going on?
Oh boy. All right.
See you, pal.
Oh well, we don't need this guy anyway.
Yeah, well, I would have to agree. Raw was definitely the better show out of the two. So I guess it's time we finish up the show.
Hey, yo.
Marco, tell everybody what's going on in Chick-fil-A land and Marco land.
I mean, not that much. Like I said, still on open mic on hiatus for a little bit. Still trying to figure out the live stream situation. Other than that, you can check us out. I mean, there's plenty of episodes to listen to on the Chick-fil-A feed.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely do that. Definitely got to get into a new What the Hell episode.
Hold on.
Oh no, is he back? Uh-oh.
He's back.
My Wi-Fi is just all.
In the worst than ever, he's back.
I think he might have gotten frozen again.
And making things worse, sir.
Oh, there he is. He's back. Okay.
Just end the show. Come on.
All right,
Ron's
Marco.
still here.
All right, yeah. Chick-fil-A.com, obviously. You find all the episodes of Chick-fil-A. Join the Chick-fil-A Show Facebook group. Obviously, it's one of the greatest, groups known to man. Really follow me on the old Twitter machine at Chick-fil-A Show. And Sheena's running the Instagram machine. We haven't said that yet. The IG machine at Chick-fil-A. That's pretty much it.
Nice. Young Anthony, before your Walmart connection breaks down.
Yeah, before you
tell everybody what's going on with the Titantron.
You holler.
Titantron will come back soon. It's just been hectic with finals.
All right. Right on.
But also Invictus Pro Wrestling's having a show tomorrow in Bloom
it
3.
is.
Climb for Clout ladder match.
I'm gonna watch it. So
hey, look at you.
I like some Invictus, man.
Support.
It's that remix edition. Oh man. Anyways, oh wait, you're back. You're good.
Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah, you cut out.
Yeah, buddy.
Jesus Christ.
What'd you say about after Invictus?
Just check it out on IWTV. It'll be a good show. Continue.
IWTV is $10 a month. It's great stuff. Great price for some good indie wrestling.
Yeah.
This week coming down the aisle, I've got you can head over to comingdowntheaislepod.com. Guys, I took the title. I'm a traveling champ. Okay. This week, I head over to the Brothers in Kayfabe podcast, made my appearance as the RAWDOWN champion.
Nice.
And I'm making towns, you know. But my guest this week is actually, we kind of traded off a little bit, is one of the hosts from Brothers in Kayfabe podcast, Mr. Kinzer Keel. He's also a pro wrestling manager. He's the kingpin of Drip of the Payroll Incorporated of Majestic Championship Wrestling out there in beautiful Oklahoma. So make sure you check out
Oklahoma.
This week he brings a very unique match. We watch the main event from the very first UWF pay-per-view in Beach. Dr. Death, Steve Williams versus Bam Bigelow for the UWF Sports Channel Championship. Prestigious championship in the game today, or yesteryears. This is if you ever seen the Dark Side of the Dark Side of the Ring episode.
I was about to say that.
Herb Abrams. This is Herb Abrams promotion, and he makes a little appearance in the his coke brain, coked out head makes me
one of the best episodes of our Dark Side of the Ring. That dude is freaking.
He's off the chain.
That was bad, man. That was crazy.
So anyway, Mr. Kinzer he brings that match, and then of course we'll have be recording pretty soon. I think next week, Miles and I will be doing the list top 10 Rock matches, baby. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh, I thought you meant like rock and roll.
Oh, rock. No, well, we could do that.
Rock and wrestling, dude.
Rock and wrestling. Number 1, Cyndi Lauper. Number 2, I don't know who else.
Liberace.
Motorhead.
Say Liberace. Motorhead. Willie Nelson.
Number 3, Saliva.
Who else?
Number 4, Alter Bridge. Okay, I'm done. Anyway, so head over to comingdowntheaislepod.com and support. And of course, make sure you support Pod Foundation. Anthony, I'm going to go ahead and do the outro since you might have the you got the shakes over there. But make sure you head over to the Pod Foundation to support all of our other Pod Foundation brethren and sisters. Sister, should I say? Check out.
There's some sisters over there.
Yeah, well, you got Chick Foley's show. You got, of course, Turnbuckle Tavern. Don't forget about Extra Cooler Show with Nick and the boys, and of course, Coming Down the Aisle. And then for Turnbuckle Tavern, you can head over to theturnbuckletavern.com, where you can follow all of our great links. Head over to find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Of course, if you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Head over to our Discord, and where you can also interact with like-minded wrestling fans. And make sure you head over to Pro Wrestling Tees, prowrestlingtees.com/tavern, and you can get your BoniCon and Boni Shivani shirts. Don't get the other shirts because they are not worthy of wearing a shirt.
Hey,
hey, I'm doing the show. I'm doing the outro here, about.
Go ahead.
And then also you got Teesprings. You can head over to teesprings.com. From theturnbuckletavern.com. Head over to Teesprings link, and you get your RAWDOWN. And you can also be a RAWDOWN champion, or you could be Mr. Backlash. You get some Young Anthony stickers to stick on toilets and stop signs and wherever else you want to not support it. Get your BoniCon stickers to wear loud and proud on the back of your vehicle. And of course, you can call the tavern 304-404-2004 and call in like Bill Matthews over there and harass Hawk and make sure that he can finish his damn invitational entrance theme battle royal thing they got going on. So yeah, anyway, the number there is 304-404-2004. And with that is going to do it for us for this week. Make sure, again, you make sure you, if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you give us a review and give us a thumbs up for everything that we got going on. For myself, Young Anthony, MVP Marco. Peace, love, and happiness. Thanks.